I'm back. It took me a little while, but here I am. I've had a very slow start to January with flu and cough and purging and cleansing and all the rest of it. So, as I think many of us have, navigating the environment that we are currently living in and the changes that we're moving through. So, um, I got woken last night with a gentle nudge or quite strong energy coming through, uh, guiding, asking me to get this healing insight method out there. And for those of you who know me will know that I am quite happy being a private person, and this is not my kind of desire in a way to be out there. And yet I do love holding space with people. I enjoy being in the teaching and sharing space. But I much prefer when I'm interacting and not talking to a screen. So there's my resistance. Um, anyway, that said, I'm here. I I'm going to do a reading. I'm not exactly sure what to share, but I've just opened up a new card deck because my card decks have gone AWOL. So I have a brand new card deck that hasn't been opened or shuffled yet. But I know that this is more than sharing the card deck or sharing the book. It's really about acknowledging our process of alignment, of change, of rebirthing, particularly from the inside out. And I know very clearly through the push that came when the Healing Insight Method dropped in for me just a year ahead of our lockdown, and card deck came through just when we were in lockdown. That this is to be shared as a gift for anyone wanting to unplug from the mind matrix and programming of limitation and of separation, of moving ourselves from and through suffering and into expansion, mostly expansion, liberation, more alignment with our true nature, with our divine nature, as we move out of the conditioned, false or distorted matrix into the organic and divine newness of what is birthing as our beautiful planet ascends. So I think I just want to speak to an acknowledgement that we are one with our earth, with Mother Earth, who's one with this local universe, that's one with the extended multiverse, and that everything, of course, is interconnected. And so, as much as we may resist change, it's a coming, it's here, it's coming, and that's what we're all feeling. And while it feels like, the world's gone mad, the light is illuminating what has been dark. It's all part of the same energy in so many ways. It's just we are seeing the polarities much more clearly and much more strongly. And we're being forced in some way, if we're going to ride it and we're going to assimilate the changes, to move ourselves into alignment with what's happening in and around us. It happens in us because we are shifting at a cellular level. We are clearing density, which means we're clearing out old emotions, programs, patterns that are keeping us in stuckness or in limitation. We're moving away from the more material world into more of a beingness, a love-based frequency. And we still exist in the material world. And so this brings challenges. And, that's what I believe everybody is navigating right now. So I I guess in terms of sharing the healing insight method as a tool to help us, because it does feel like we need help at times, that we feel a bit stuck or we can't see or we don't know how to let go of old programs, of old patterns. And we want to feel differently, but it seems like it's over there rather than accessible to us because of either our resistance to change or because it's a new frequency that we haven't allowed, and we've got opposing, polarized beliefs, stories, attachments to those stories, beliefs, programs, patterns. So, this is a sharing to help you if you feel ready, if you feel called, if something is interested, to be able to move through those polarity shifts. And ultimately, we're coming into neutralization, we're coming into the point of singularity. Um, we can't always be positively polarized. It's not how life works. You know, we're in cycles of expansion and contraction, and we go both ways, but we are harmonizing and neutralizing, coming into this infinity point, this point of balance. Um, and emptiness and stillness. And so we can't always be up on a high because the natural cycle of things brings us back down. And you may be noticing that very quickly we move through something and then we're on to the next thing very quickly. And there's not much rest or respite at the moment. And that's okay. It's just, it is how it is. And there are ways that we can support ourselves. I personally find meditation really helpful. That's probably my go-to, is to be at peace with what is. And I bring the healing energies in. I sit in the energy and I let the energy kind of transform. So it's this sense of dropping into emptiness, dropping into stillness, being with what is, and allowing the transformation of energy just to move through. And in so many ways, maybe that's the first point that's helpful to relay and to describe within the healing insight method, um, because what it teaches us to start with the change process, is to drop into Qigong's Wuqi, which is emptiness, empty energy. So we're structured, we're feeling into our structure and into our strength, into the skeletal structure, but there's a softening of tension, there's a releasing and a letting go and an allowing process. Because when we soften, if you relax the stomach muscles, you relax the shoulder muscles, you relax the forehead, um, the back of the neck, the jaw. If we relax, we allow energy to move, and we can become observer and witness to the shifts in energy when we give it space. Our bodies know ultimately what to do. It's just that we have to give them the conditions to allow that shift and transformation, the movement and the coming back into center, back into alignment and balance. So, yeah, that's a crucial first step, and very simply, um, to share the gift of the breath, that pause and that moment where we just allow ourselves to breathe and be with the inhalation, the exhalation, the exchange, that movement. We put ourselves back into flow. We're not holding. And so, this is really beneficial for us to be able to stop that holding pattern, which is attachment based, when we don't necessarily know how to move through or what to do with things. And we allow that softening and we allow the opening. So the healing insight method shares that process of dropping you into Wuchi, or empty energy, which supports a kind of condition through a space holding for yourself, through which you can introduce the infinity harmonizing movement, and can then go through a process of activating the hemispheres of the brain one at a time to bring yourself into alignment with something that's new, a different frequency, a new energy. And the more we drop into new frequencies and new energies, the more we ride this expansion and this growth into the higher states of consciousness. And that's what's being asked of us at this time. So I'm going to shuffle these lovely cards now. It's always nice seeing them in this this way. Where so just to show you they are chakra related, and every card has a series of beliefs, four beliefs down each card. Free will. That's an interesting one, so I can see where I am and where I'm mirrored. That we have free will and choice. So utilizing that for our good, for our growth, for our expansion. Choosing to be love in the world at this time of releasing ourselves from the control system. Feeling controlled, feeling victimized, moving out of victim consciousness into empowerment. It's, it's all it's all going on simultaneously. So there's a lot of shift, there's a lot of change happening. So I'm going to just shuffle. So this is a nice way of just being able to share the cards with you. When you're moving through a change for yourself, you can, if you purchase the card deck on Amazon, you can shuffle if you like playing with cards and see what it is that you need, what would be helpful to bring into your awareness. And if you take it a step further to bring yourself into alignment with energetically, or you can go through the book teaches you a mechanism through which you can muscle test yourself to see, okay, I'm feeling a bit of fear or sadness or alone, hurt, rejected, scared, whatever it may be. And then you can ask the Healing Insight system, which is organized into the chakra system, what's going to be what's the best belief for you? What's the highest belief for you to align with now? The priority belief. And that will enable you to just give yourself a shift. So, first card that's coming out, maybe this one's for me, hey? And whoever else who resonates with, is courage. So I'm going to read this one out. If you want to just drop into your beingness, drop into your hearts to receive the message. I have, so they're all in affirming, affirmative statements that you can then bring yourself into alignment with. I have the strength, courage, and willpower to face my fears and see my desires, dreams, and goals through to completion. I release the need to be anything other than who I am in order to succeed. I believe in myself and have the courage to fail and succeed. So that's an important one. I am possible. So I'm just going to drop into that. The statement that's resonating the most there is I am possible. And us aligning, so this is solar plexus card, aligning with our I am potential and our I am possibility, so that we can allow ourselves to shine. So if you think about the solar plexus and you think about the solar energy and light, that's enabling an illumination, a bringing forward a fire energy, fire element from the solar plexus. So January's been, for me, I mean, there's been a lot going on in the field, but it's felt like a very slow start. It feels like not been quite ready to start the new year. Very aware it's a very different energy that we're sitting in now in 2025. A lot of change. It's a cycle of completion. It's a 9-year. So we are completing our healing process. Aspects of our healing process and cycles of our healing, so that we can step out into the newness of 2026 and into those new beginnings. So some of that will get started this year for sure, as we are planting seeds and we're laying foundations and we're starting to move into a newness, preparing for the following year, the next year ahead. But in order to do that, it does take courage to face, be with the obstacles, be with limitation, be with the fears. Um, and so, yeah, this card is speaking to you, and you'd like to harness more courage. It's about creating those I am statements that I have. I have courage. I acknowledge my courage that's within. I have strength, and I have the willpower, the self determination to face my fears and choose the life that you wish, see your desires, dreams, goals through to completion. I very much am a believer in possibility. It has come with, well, perhaps my nature, um, perhaps, a connection with my higher self and awareness of all that infinite divine potential that is us, and that is activating and waiting to be fully activated and fully come on board. So that potential is there for all of us. We all hold that. We're not, we're all going through this collective journey together. And so daring to dream, allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to think, well, if all were possible, what would I be doing? What would I be moving towards? And in a simple way, what's my next step? And what do I need to let go of in order to create space to focus my energy on what I want to grow? So, our energy very much will flow where our consciousness moves to, where we put our energy. And perhaps that's something to think about. And knowing really ultimately, failure is a judgment and success is a judgment. And it's all experience when we neutralize it and balance it. And so allowing ourselves perceived failure, it's like, okay, well, that didn't work out. And I think, in fairness and honesty, over the last, 5 years, maybe more, we've been moving towards this shedding and this new beginnings, and we're in a very new energy, and it's accelerated and it's amplified, and there is a sense of a need to kind of step forward and step into something that's quite new. And we are learning how to do that. We're learning how to work together. We're learning how to come into more of a unified field and move out and away from competition and being against each other. And it's new, it's really new, to be able to work cohesively as part of a group or part of a system where everyone is equal, where it's not hierarchical. And this is the big shift that we're moving through, is recognizing the gift in each and every one, in each and every contribution, so that we can be together and work together as a whole. So there's going to be hiccups along the way, there's going to be learning, and that's not failure. That's just taking the experiences and learning from them, and being able to keep dreaming and keep moving into what feels good and what feels exciting and what is that fire that burns in the kind of seat of your belly, that wants to express and wants to rise up and wants to express in the world, wants to be shared, wants to come out. So courage and possibility is being spoken in for you. Actually, that's coming through really very strongly and clearly now, that it's a time for courage. It's a time for tapping into possibility and potential, and activating and awakening that inside of yourself. I am going to pull one more card because I can feel there's something else that wants to come through. So let's see what this says. I'm noticing your root chakra cards speaking to me just in terms of grounding all of this, grounding these new changes. Just in physical body card, nourishing the physical body, having to detox quite a lot. There's a lot of purging going on, having to stay on top of all of the chemicals that are around. So stability card there. Root chakra generally is being spoken in right now. It's the stability card again. Safety card. Okay, so there's one card, one message. It's the stability card. There we go. So, how do we create our own sense of stability? And what I'm being shown in my mind straight away is dropping into Uchi. So, dropping into stillness, dropping into the physical body, rooting down, connecting to Mother Earth. So, through the soles of your feet, your kidney point extends, your Earth Star chakra extends down to Earth. So, allowing your connection to Earth. And we must, I don't like speaking in musts, but in order to ride this global shift in consciousness, um, it's going to be beneficial for us. It's easier for us to keep moving with the energy rather than going against it. So, this is what will create a sense of stability. It's grounding, it's rooting, it's attuning to the energies and the frequencies around us without getting buffered and being pulled by everyone else's shifts and purging as we're collectively moving through this process together. Being able to be in your center because each individual aspect of consciousness is clearing your own individual experiences. We are unique. That's what's beautiful about us. Yes, there's a lot of shared experience, and yes, there's a lot of similarity. Um, and we can relate on that level, but your expression, your uniqueness, is your magic, and your gift to the world in that way. What you've experienced becomes, when you move through the healing process, your wisdom, and your wisdom is the gift to be shared with the world. So, grounding, rooting, safety. What's been spoken in on the card is I allow myself to give and receive support. So, okay, and in my hands here, sorry, I don't want for this to sound cheesy, but I'm just seeing the Healing Insight, the book and the method as a mechanism for support. When I channeled that through, it was very clear that it just needed to be gifted. I needed to put it all in the book. So it's, for yeah, 20, £18, £19, the whole method, everything. And my journey through healing of the lupus and the unfolding of my spiritual awakening and so on, and the grounding and the sharing of my learning and my gifts. I've been on this journey for some time and working with clients for years now. um, and so there's a lot of wisdom and learning that's come from that I have shared. So if you feel to be supported by the Healing Insight method, um, receive that and take that, because it was brought through and it was gifted for this time and for this shift in consciousness and this unplugging from the old matrix and allowing ourselves to attune with the new. And the qigong, the process, the working with, when people drop into this, the infinity harmonizing movement, which is magical in itself and symbolic in itself of harmony and balance and healing, and dropping us into that infinite expansive state, it is all there and part of this healing system. So I trust in the pathway that unfolds before me. I recognize the interconnectedness of all things. I lovingly support myself with kind thoughts of encouragement, compassion, and understanding. One of my clients today asked me, how do I love myself? What does self-love look like? And I think this was one of the first things that I said was kindness to self with your thoughts in particular. So when we are judgmental of ourselves, we keep ourselves or aspects of ourselves split. So there's often an inner child healing that needs to take place, where we are loving to the parts of us that feel wounded or feel triggered or feel hurt. And we can bring those in with love, and we can integrate them, and we can we adult in a way in which we become healthy parents to the self, the loving mother and the loving father. Um, and heal aspects of the parenting, so that we can meet any unmet need and heal and shift any programs of inadequacy or not good enough, not important enough, not special enough, not worthy of love, success, relationship, money, support, whatever it is that our programming has, whatever we've been born into. So that's what we're here to transform. And that is what the shift is about. It's the clearing of that old paradigm that has kept us in separation and limitation so that we can move into love and move into unity consciousness and move into being the beautiful, innate, loving beings that we are. And that has to start with self. It has to start with your relationship with yourself and being able to talk kindly to yourself, being able to notice when you feel contracted or when you feel hurt or wounded, and being able to open up the space to be able to sit with that and bring kind, loving, supportive thoughts into that. And to look at your own patterns of where you're allowing that, where there aren't boundaries, or where you're going into victimhood or carry on telling the story that you can't get what you need or that life is happening to you and not for you or through you. And so, this is the shift. But supporting yourself with your thoughts, your words, breathing love into yourself, asking for support as well, as and when you need it, is really helpful. And knowing that actually we're all in it together. We're all moving through stuff, whether we talk about it or not, whether we keep it buried or not, because we're all part of this collective consciousness that's going through major accelerated change and shift. So for the good, but it feels a bit chaotic. It feels a bit messy. It can feel a bit dark. And that stuff's always been there. It's just it's illuminating as we're expanding and we're allowing ourselves to see what needs to be healed. So that's our journey. Sending so much love for the now and for the journey. And if you feel called, go ahead, get the book, get the card deck if you want to play with it more lightly. And I will be opening up training courses because I have been given that nudge. And it feels like it's time now that the shift is happening now. So it's just time to roll our sleeves up and move through it. All right, love for now. Take care, and I'll see you next time.